Hello. Today I want to talk about safety culture. What does that mean to your business? What does that mean to you and your role in your business? What is safety culture? A lot of businesses struggle with both defining what it is and how we're going to drive a strong safety culture, as well as understanding what deliverables can be expected from a good safety culture. The first thing that I would offer to listen to with what is our safety culture, if you want to know what it is from your employees' perspective, have some conversations with employees. Listen to what they say. Here's a few keywords to listen for if you don't have a strong safety culture. If employees are concerned, they're going to take that concern out and they're going to communicate with other people in the community. Potential employees that could be working for your business being told, nah, don't go work here because we're unsafe. All right. Some of these things to listen for would include, they don't care about me. That can come out as they don't care about my safety. They don't value me as an employee. And a lot of times what businesses are doing to get past that is, let's hand out a bigger bonus. Let's make our bonus higher. Well, everybody's cranking up the bonuses, but employees are still shuffling around, and still, no matter how high some of these companies are putting their bonus, they're still not getting quality employees. And this is where it comes down to, is employees want to feel valued. All right. And safety is a key way that happens. So if you start asking questions, if an employee says, I don't feel safe, I don't feel valued, I don't feel like they care about me, start asking about safety conditions. Well, what leads to that? How do you feel every day when you're working? And a lot of times those unsafe conditions are going to come to the forefront of that conversation. And that's going to be what drives that safety culture in the business. That's what people really think of your business. The campaigns that you do out in the community for recruitment, the banners up out on the shop floor, things like that do not drive culture. All right. What drives the culture and your brand's reputation is what you're going to find out from this conversation that you have with employees. How do you feel about how the business cares about you? What do you think of your job? Are there inconsistent expectations? If an employee says, we're told to do things one way, but we do them another, if they're threatened to be written up, for example, if they don't wear fall protection, yet they have to do this job, climb a ladder, lean off the ladder, there's no anchor in this part of the facility, they can't follow the policy and they feel like they're at risk of being written up and losing their jobs just from doing their job. Those are the kinds of conditions that we want to eliminate to get good safety culture in a business. Safety culture starts at the top. If you don't have the owner and plant manager or general manager fully engaged with the safety culture of that business, this is the expected outcome. This is what we're going to do for resources, and this is how we're going to drive that culture. If you don't have that from the top, you're not going to have it. Okay. If you have the plant manager comes in one day and says, all right, we've had too many injuries, we're going to get to the root of this, I expect everybody to work safe, and that person does not drive anything down the road, if all they do is say this is what we're going to do, you're not going to have an improved safety culture. You're going to still keep churning in the same spot that you're in, if not getting worse. So think about, and I'm not comparing employees to children, but think about in your role, if you're a parent, if you recognize that things aren't going well in your household, maybe you've gotten a few bad reports from school and things like that, and you say, okay, we're going to make some changes. I have some different expectations. But if you as a parent don't drive that every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, until it's a totally ingrained habit, it's going to completely fall by the wayside. And that's the exact same thing with anything else in the safety culture. If a manager comes in and says, this is the way it is, we're going to do it this way, it has to be followed up continually, or it's not going to work. So what's the end result of a strong safety culture? Employees and managers should be making decisions based on that company's values, the policies and procedures in place, right? So if you have a policy in place that says this is what we do, that's what everybody in that business should be doing. And that's what it should look like if you have a strong safety culture. If you have procedures that don't work, they don't have things in place, that means fixing them. Review those procedures. What doesn't work? Ask your employees, do you follow this procedure? If that procedure requires, for example, a permit such as a confined space or a hot work permit, an easy way to find out, are you following this practice, is pull the old permits. If you look for the old permits and they're not there, that means nobody's filling them out. Another end result would be having an acceptable level of risk. Every business has its acceptable level of risk. If you have an office building or an oil rig, there's going to be two different acceptable levels of risks. In heavy manufacturing, you're going to be under a lot of the same safety regulations as, say, another office building. But what we accept as a risk in the two different types of industries is very different, right? So it's what's acceptable in our business. If the training satisfies the employee's needs, not just checking a box for compliance saying we did the training, but it actually satisfies the employee's needs to find the information that they need to do their job right, they're going to know how to do the job. They're going to be secure in how to do that job. They're going to feel like management is behind them. I'm doing it right, so there's no question. They're going to do the job right. There's going to be quality and consistency, both from safety as well as product or service quality that you deliver to your customers. So it makes sense to train your employees right from the get-go. And this will lead to several deliverables from your safety culture in the business. First of all, the end result should be that we reduce the number of injuries. Lower the injuries, now we're going to lower the workers' compensation costs. If we have employees who are out on restrictions or lost time, we're constantly have to juggle around them. If you have, say, 2 employees out on lost time, that's like having 2 more job openings that you can't fill. So if you can reduce that number and maybe have 0 or lesser number of people with restrictions, your business is going to be much more productive. You're going to have improved employee engagement and productivity, retention, and recruitment. Right? It just makes sense if an employee is not injured, they're going to be more productive. But if they don't have to worry about being injured, if they know they have the right PPE, all the guards are in place on the machines, things aren't running too fast, there's not traffic flying by that's not mitigated, they're going to be much more productive because they can focus on what they're doing rather than everything going on around them. Or is my hand going to be getting too close to that blade or something else like that? Right, and that's gonna be the productivity side. On the retention side, if they feel like they're safe and valued and cared about, they're gonna stay. Okay, that bonus that you offer is gonna matter to them. The things that you do to drive that retention and that engagement of employees is going to matter. Okay? If you just keep raising bonuses but don't make them feel more secure on the shop floor, it doesn't matter. They're gonna hit the road, and you're going to struggle to replace that person with a new hire, especially if the reputation out in the community isn't favorable for your business. And those all lead to much better outcomes. So I would love to help you with any way that you may need support in building the culture of your business, whether it's developing training, developing policies or procedures that work for you, helping get a safety committee that's functional and not just functional, but actually solves problems. All things that we can do to help you out. So I welcome any engagement, any comments that you have of how have you built a strong safety culture? How has improving safety culture improved your business? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much, Brad Kramer with Provenio Consulting.